Oh, we're back. We're here. I'm Cousin P. That's May May.
Hi.
And that's Ray.
Hi, guys.
And this is the Happy Hour. How was your guys' holidays?
I was sick the whole time.
You were sick the whole time.
I was literally sick almost all of December. It was like, and I thought I was going to die. Like one of the nights.
So you had that new strain of COVID?
Dude, I don't know what it was. No, I don't think it was the new strain. No, I took a COVID test and it was negative. It was like the virus
RSV.
going around. Yeah. Because like one of the nights, like I could not breathe. And my insurance is so shitty. I was like, okay, I'm just going to wait one more night. And if it's really, really bad, we'll go the next day.
Americans are dying these days.
But I'm alive, so that's all that matters.
Privatized insurance is shit.
Oh, my
For real,
God.
dude. I was like, I don't want to go to the ER. And I was like, ugh.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Just thinking about that, like, I don't want to go to the hospital because my insurance set. But if I die tonight, then
I mean, there's no bills that way
I can't
either.
breathe,
So I mean, I guess it's
but my insurance.
Funerals are expensive.
Oh, my God.
That's true. Okay. Anyways.
You were sick on just Christmas and New Year's? Like the whole fucking time?
I mean, honestly, pretty much. Jody and I fell asleep early on New Year's.
Yeah. New Year's is not for old people.
I'm not old.
Megan. You're past 25.
I'm not old.
Now
I wanted to do something. I blame Jody for this year. And you know what? Last year as well. Because last year I had COVID during New Year. And I was stuck in my room and he was in there with me and he fell asleep early. And this motherfucker did it again. Second time in a row. Our second New Year's Eve. And he fell asleep right before it.
What were you going to do if he was awake, though?
I mean, New Year's kiss or at least something cute. Nothing. And then when it hit midnight, I was like, baby, it's midnight. He's like, Happy New Year. Went right back to sleep.
New Year's is lightweight. New Year's is kind of lightweight overrated, though.
But I mean, you can do fun stuff.
Yeah, but
it just felt like another night. That's okay. We have next year.
How was your holidays?
It was mellow. It was mellow. We didn't do too much, but it was good. We spent like time at our house, at my brother's house, and then that was it.
Did you stay up and get a New Year's kiss?
From my dog.
Sancho. I was going to say Sancho.
From Sancho. No, I stayed up late. I watched the new Tiger King. Yeah, I had to.
Is there a new one?
Watch it. Well, it was like
apparently.
The Doc Antel one.
I want to watch it.
I just had to because I watched the original one during COVID and...
You were invested.
Yeah.
I still haven't even seen the first one, to be honest with you.
I don't know if you would like it necessarily.
I don't think I would. It looks like a whole bunch of bullshit.
It's really funny, though. It's funny.
It is funny.
Like, so,
it's whack.
Yeah.
Like, you watch it, you're like, people are fucking insane. These people are wild.
Like, I get what do they call that? Secondhand embarrassment. So, like, when people start doing, like, cringy shit or, like, you know, like, stuff, I'm like,
you
oh, this
feel
is
like
not...
super.
Yeah, this ain't fly. Like...
I'm the same way. Like, when I'm watching movies or TVs and it's really, really embarrassing, I will cover my face like I'm in a scary movie because, like, I feel their embarrassment times 10.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going through it. I know exactly what you feel like. How was your holiday?
Let me see. Holiday was cool. You know, Christmas was Christmas. It was pretty low key. You know, for the most, as far as like gifts go.
I was like, you spent it with your family, right?
Yeah. But like, you know, all my siblings are pretty much adults. You know, now. And grown ups don't get presents. So
shit.
You still get presents?
I still get presents.
I still get presents. I get presents from every single one too. My mom, my dad, my sisters. We get gifts for each other.
One is not like the other.
That is crazy. You guys don't do gifts as you get older?
Hey, look at the panel.
No wonder people don't talk about no holiday spirit.
Let's look at the panel. We know.
Well, it's not about the gifts, Megan.
It's not about the gifts.
It's about quality family time.
It's about both. Let's be fucking real. I can spend quality time with my family all year. Christmas time is like, it's about both. It's like the effort and the thought that counts. So like doing holiday stuff.
That's just your love language. That's what that is.
I
bet you would. Probably a big part of your love language. I bet. If you take the test, like when's the last time you taken?
Probably, but like I've never really been in a relationship where that stuff kind of happens. Like Jody does that for me now, but I'm not like expecting it.
No, it's not about expecting. I think it's more so like about like what makes you feel good. Like
Christmas time gifts make me feel
like when
good.
somebody gives me a gift, I'm like, oh, okay, thank you, appreciate it. You know,
you don't sound very appreciative.
No, that's my opinion. That's my
That's
level.
why I gave this guy a pie.
But the pie was good. Food is different. Food is not a gift. Food is like, but like like gifts don't like they make me feel good. But like for other people, they obviously have a bigger reaction because it means way more.
Well, I like giving gifts first. I mean, I love receiving gifts. I love opening shit up. Oh my goodness. But like honestly, I really like buying gifts to see them open it and like see them enjoy it. That's one of my favorite things about Christmas. So yeah, we get each other, everyone gets a gift. We get gifts for each other, every single person in our family. But we don't have a big family. Like literally it's me, my mom, and my sisters. Me, my mom, my dad, and my sisters. My grandma too, but she can't buy presents or anything like that. We still get her gifts and everything, but like it's just us.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's officially go ahead and get this thing started. No, that's the wrong one. Hold on. I was trying to. There you go. Let's officially get this thing started. We're back once again. We had to take a break because the holidays, obviously, y'all had a good holidays. They had a good holidays. We had good holidays. So, if you guys are watching, make sure that you subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you also leave a comment, like, that really helps out with the algorithm. And then tune into the other shows. You know, Black Men Cook 2 went strong. Snack Wars still going strong. You know what I mean? And then if you're listening to this on the streaming services, leave a review, please. We still have not gotten one yet. I don't give a fuck if you don't like the show. Just leave a review.
Talk some shit if you want.
Yes, because
we just want to hear something.
Because once again, it does help out with the algorithm on there, but too, it helps us out. We want to know what we can do better.
Yeah,
we want to provide good content. You know, there's a lot of podcasts out there. There's a lot of podcasts that talk about relationships. We want to be different. So let us know how we can be different for y'all. So let's jump into these topics. You want to do a story first, or should we? Because there's a couple heavy ones. I'm just gonna pre-warn y'all, the audience. There's a couple heavy topics that we want to talk about. Do we want to do the fun shit first and then?
No, let's do the fun last because we kind of like
lighten it up this week.
Yeah, definitely lighten up a bit if we do not agree.
Okay. Well, let's go. I'm gonna go ahead and preface it like this, or segue into it like this. Now, a lot of you guys know, especially the ones who were here listening during season 1, I deal with anxiety. I deal with a high level anxiety. I have to take medication and all that stuff. And I'm not sure if you've officially said it on the show before, but you also
have a shit ton of anxiety.
Deal with anxiety as well.
Yeah.
Not sure if you do. You seem like
we're not talking about this.
You seem like you're pretty well put together, so I'm sure
she's calm, cool, and collective for the life would be like 95% of the time.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, she's like,
we don't need to talk about this. We don't need to talk about this.
Now, with anxiety, I think like there's a correct way and an incorrect way for it to be handled, right?
Correct.
And you know, one of the most difficult parts, because I've also too have experienced my partner, you know, with dealing with her anxiety. You know, your natural reaction to seeing somebody going through something like that is to try to fix things, or at least for men. I'm not sure, how y'all wired, but that's just how I'm wired. But even with that being the case, with your intentions of wanting to fix things, you can still make things worse. So when you are dealing with anxiety, how do you typically want it to be dealt with? Like, how do you want your partner to handle it? Like, what is some ways that I guess you find beneficial?
Well, when I have anxiety, I talk a lot because I'm trying to like express my emotions and get it all out. I would like if my partner would listen and then like talk back from what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like versus just listening and not saying anything.
Well, first and foremost, do you usually tell your partner that you're dealing with it, like right up front, like, hey, I'm dealing with some anxiety, or is it like one of those things where you're already in it? You know what I mean? So like you're kind of like reactive, and then you're now having a talk after. It
depends on how bad my anxiety is. If it's something that kind of just creeps up on me, I can get irrational sometimes and angry. But if it's something that's like been slowly creeping up that I've been thinking about, I can talk about it.
Yeah.
I can talk about my anxiety and I can pretty upfront with it. Still don't know how to fix it, but I can talk about it.
Yeah.
Jody's usually pretty good with listening and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't think there's really like any one way to fix it, you know what I mean? Like, and that's like the thing that I've learned with dealing with my partner, but then also myself, like when it comes to my anxiety, I know when it's being triggered. You know what I mean? Like I know what situations are going to trigger it. So usually I try to avoid those situations. Like I deal with social anxiety. So anytime there's going to be like some type of confrontation or some type of verbal disagreement, I know like right then and there, like, okay, Prentice, you're probably going to deal with some shit, right? And I do sales for a living, right? So which there's going to be a lot of verbal disagreements already. So going into like even like my sales calls, I'm like, all right, Prentice is probably going to trigger your anxiety. So, you know, make sure that you are aware of when it's happening and try to deal with it the best way you can. So I'm like upfront with Jasmine, you know, like soon as it's coming, I'm like, hey, I'm dealing with some anxiety. Just to let you know. Now, what I just recently learned is how I want it handled. And truth be told,
you probably want to be left the fuck alone,
that's
don't
it.
you? Yep. You want to be left the fuck alone. I know it. I know.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm like, fuck, just leave me alone.
Because it's like you're like a hot. The first thing came to my head was like a hot kettle, right? And you should be left alone to cool down.
Yeah.
It's basically what it is. I'm the same way when I get really fucking pissed. Like when I'm mad and upset about something, I don't want to talk to anyone, not even Jody. I don't want to be around anyone. I want to be by my fucking self while I vent to myself because I'm just so angry.
Yeah.
I'm the exact same way.
I'm debating about saying
I
some
don't know
wild
about
shit.
you, Ray. How are you?
I'm calm and collected. I don't like to really like share all the time, and so for myself, it's also like if I'm starting to get anxious, I need my space because one of the things that'll make me more stressed out is when I talk to someone and they start getting stressed out for me or stressed out about it too. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm a really like a helper kind of personality. So then I'll want to start to comfort them. And then in the meantime, I kind of like don't really handle my own situation because now it's kind of reversed where it's like, now, okay, you're freaking out about my shit. Like, dude, chill for me, please. Like, you're not helping.
Yeah.
So I like my space, and I usually don't like super share too much.
Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of like an empath thing. You know what I mean? Like people who are really sensitive to like how other people feel, they usually don't like to share their own feelings typically because, you know, energy is transferable, right? Like if I'm like, you know, dealing with some bad shit, like if I talk to you about it, obviously it's going to make you feel bad, especially if you care about me. And that's usually like when I start to kind of like bottle up the most. You know, it's like, all right, soon as you start reacting and start doing like that cuddle shit, like, oh, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm good. Even though I'm not good. Me. Yeah, even though I'm not good, I'm good. Like, just, you know, like, just be aware of it. And I think most people probably just, because like anxiety is like one of those things where it's not rational.
No.
You know, like it's
there's rational anxiety, right?
Okay.
Did I just throw you off?
No. You're right. You're right. I would say, you know, when your anxiety is triggered by some type of mental health or, you know, disability, like which, you know, depression is what it is. A lot of people deal with it. A lot of times when that's triggering it is pretty irrational. Yeah. But anxiety is a natural thing that like your body's you're supposed to feel anxiety about certain things because that's how you stay alive.
I feel like that's healthy. Yeah. To keep you becoming from like a psychopath, right?
Basically, right? Yeah. Because I feel like if you didn't ever deal with anxiety, like usually like you're like one of those people who are super disagreeable with everyone.
I would stay away from that person.
Like one of those assholes.
Like you don't have normal anxiety. We can't like trauma bond over that. Like no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Do you ever do that? You ever trauma bond with people? Like
I actually don't know what that means. It just like pops into my head to say it. I don't know. I don't know what trauma bond means. I heard people do that in relationships.
Yeah. So what trauma bonding is when two people. They don't have to like be like in a romantic relationship, but they can even have like, you know, a friendship. Yeah, two people who find commonality in something that they've been through, and that is the basis of their relationship, right? Mm-hmm. So as soon as the other person deals with that, then usually the relationship starts to kind of dissipate, right? It's like, oh, you have an addiction, I have an addiction too, and now we're best friends because we both smoke crack. Then one person gets
extreme example. But okay, I completely understand.
Like, and then one person gets clean, and then now the other person's like, you know,
What the fuck?
A victim. Yeah, like, oh, we thought we were doing this together.
Okay, that makes sense.
How about this?
That's what I thought.
Okay, what if the person you're with has like too much anxiety? Like it's constant. Like in the conversation, like anything and everything is just like triggering them, and they're being super reactive.
Okay.
Like
I don't think I could deal with that in a relationship.
Okay.
Here's something we could talk about. If you're in a serious relationship, you can tell me if you agree or disagree. If you're in a serious relationship, I think that is a great time to start giving some ultimatums. This is what I'm saying.
What?
Hear me out.
Damn. Why'd you take
hold
it
on,
there?
Hold on. Hear me out.
Because you're the only well, no, you're not the only person in a serious relationship, but you're the person who's got like the ring and everything in the room here.
This
I'm waiting on somebody. Okay.
Yeah. No, this is what I'm saying.
I'm not applying pressure in any direction.
Right. Like here's I'm gonna give you 3 different examples. Right. I'm gonna go from the biggest extreme all the way down to anxiety. You have a gambling problem. Here's the ultimatum: either you fix it, or we're done. You have a drinking problem. Here's your ultimatum. Either you fix it or you're done. You have a problem dealing with your emotions. Either you get help or I have to walk away. And I don't think there's anything, I personally don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, there's not.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
To a certain point, okay, yes and no. You can't just like give someone issues, be like, this is it is, and then if you like make a mistake, we're completely done. Because as someone who is an addict, no, I said that wrong. Someone who has known addicts before, especially with drinking and stuff, it's just, I'm gonna backtrack what I'm saying.
No, don't go.
I just feel like you can handle it in certain ways better. Versus just being like one and done type thing with like your expectations, not expectations. What did you call them?
Ultimatums. I think there's love in that. Like, I mean, truthfully, like, I think, like, I mean, the only reason why you're ever doing that is because you want to be with that person, right? Like, no one ever gives someone an ultimatum and want to walk away from them. They just walk away from them.
People give ultimatums to get out of stuff.
I've played some relationship chicken with some goddamn ultimatums, knowing full well I wanted to leave.
Exactly. It's like you give them that ultimatum, so that way they're like, I'm getting the fuck out of here, right? Basically, you kind of do that to make it. You're not. Well, I mean, you are the bad guy when you give the ultimatum, but it's just an easier way of like ending things.
I don't think you are. I think if you have a habit that's going to affect me, should I stay here and go down with the ship, or should I jump ship? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's. I don't. Think
I get
that's
what
a
you're
bad
saying,
thing.
though. I get what you're saying is like if you didn't want things to change for the better, then you wouldn't kind of be putting that person in the position where they had to make that same choice to want things to be going in the better direction.
I think for myself. I mean, obviously you've been, dangling the carrot over some dude that couldn't get it.
I wouldn't
but
date
like,
me.
at least for myself, like I wouldn't ever give somebody an ultimatum unless I truly wanted to be there.
I don't know. You remember Guitar Boy?
Guitar Boy?
Yeah. I've given a couple ultimatums and I wanted it to end.
Put down the guitar. Stop singing.
A relationship chicken.
I think maybe it might be different for men versus women as for using it as like an escape, basically it's like a scapegoat to get out of the relationship, right?
Right? No, not really though.
When you're using it, when you're
in
using
relationship
it in
chicken, it's basically like, I don't think you could actually follow through on this, so I'm going to put this contingency on our relationship so that you can't fall through, so that I can legitimately break up with you and it be your fault.
And then they follow through, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, I feel like people do that all the time. I feel like when you put it that way, when you break it down, people do that all the time.
Okay, I mean, I guess we all had different. And that's why I say, but you saw how I prefaced it, though. I said people who are in a serious relationship. Now, if you're not serious about that person, of course, like you're like, hey.
How about this?
Listen.
What if your partner, you say, okay, hey, I would like it if you went and seeked out help, or I don't know if I use that right, but like you seeked out help. Or like this isn't going to work. What if they said they wanted it to be like couples therapy? What would your reaction be to that?
That's fine.
That's fine? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. There's no issue with that. Yeah,
I feel like narcissists really do. You could use not. I feel like narcissists.
She's gonna call me a narcissist.
No, I wasn't. I was just clarifying because I feel like narcissists do that is to do it to a way to make them not look bad. Be like, oh, you couldn't follow through with this. We're done. This is your fault, not mine. We're broken. We broke up. Does that make sense?
No, you are right in the sense of like, yes. If
I'm
you're
not calling you one, Ray. I just want to clarify.
It's okay.
I'm just saying.
You could be straight with me.
I am straight with you, girl. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah. You're right in the sense of like, yes, like if you're using it as like an scapegoat to just break it off with them right there, if you're already 1 foot out the door. But like I said, if you're serious about this person, like, yeah, like you're not doing it because you're trying to be malicious. You're doing it because you actually want to see it through with that person, right? Like you want them to get the help. You want them to stop smoking crack. You want the relationship to last.
What was the question again? What was the original
Managing
question?
Like anxiety in a relationship, like handling your partner's anxiety in a relationship.
Right.
Yeah. I think, and the reason why we got to that was I think if you're in a serious relationship, you have a responsibility to not just protect yourself, but then also everyone else involved. Right?
Yeah, you're a team when you're in a relationship.
Yeah. And I mean, and everyone's definition of serious is a little different because some people's definition of a serious relationship isn't as serious as I would say a relationship should be if you're calling it a serious relationship. You know what I mean? Like if y'all been together for 6 months and you really, really like each other, that's not serious to me. That's just two people who really like each other. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what about those people that like date the people for hella long, like 10 years before they propose? Do you think that's a serious relationship?
No. I don't know, man.
Little did we know, Prentice is the governing body.
I'm not the
who is in a serious relationship or not.
I'm not. Okay, so once upon a time,
need to get him a gavel.
Once upon a time, I did not believe in marriage. Once upon a time, I thought it was just dumb. I thought it was like, okay, like why? It was just a legal document, and I'm signing my life away to this person.
So much more than a stupid piece of paper.
There's more that this person could harm me from marriage than I could actually benefit from it.
Think like that,
right? I mean, I get some tax benefit. I could. That
you did that when you had kids, dude.
That was my thought at one point. But what happens is you meet a person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, and you're like, you know what? This is the person I want to build this family tree with. This is the person who I want to lay roots with. You know what I mean? And then your perception changes. Now, I cannot say that other people who don't view it that way are wrong, that their relationship isn't serious. If you're with a person for 10 years, let's be honest, relationships are not easy. So if you've been with that person for 10 years, that still takes commitment, no matter what. Right? Like, I don't think
what is she mad about? What are you mad about?
If it took you 10 years to propose.
What if they don't want to get married?
Yeah.
Like, what if you're that person?
Well,
you
not
want
that person.
You want
but
it,
like, there's
because you
people
wouldn't
out
be with
there.
a person past 3 years if they didn't marry you. Let's be honest. Mm-hmm. That's what you want.
I want to get married.
Yeah. So a person who's in a relationship for 10 years, that's obviously both parties are like okay with the idea of it, and that's why like I can't say like I'm the say all be all when it comes to that, because I know those I know people who are like in happy relationships and they still got the same last names that they came into relationships with. I don't know if I could be that way. You can't be that way.
We don't know about Rihanna.
What about you? What are your views on marriage?
I think it might happen someday.
I'm never gonna be a bridesmaid, dude. I'm never gonna be a bridesmaid anywhere. Fuck.
What about your sisters?
Oh, don't do that.
Just kidding.
Don't do that. I knew it.
They're gonna be so mad. I'm just joking.
I knew that was
I'm
going.
missing out on something here. Maybe another time.
I made a face and I was like,
I didn't even see her face, and I knew I could see her face.
You could
from the
feel
back
it?
of my head. I could just feel it. I knew exactly where that shit was going. I knew exactly where that was going.
Well, to be fair, when I said that, I wasn't thinking about my sisters. I was thinking like friend-wise. None of my friends want to get fucking married. It's bullshit. Never gonna be a fucking bridesmaid.
That's funny.
I'll be a maid of honor. That's different though. I'll be a maid of honor at both my sisters' weddings. Still not a bridesmaid.
How do you think you're gonna get that role in both weddings? Like, do you think because you're the oldest sister, you get that role automatically?
Because we all, three of us have made a pact that each one of us, so if I get married, both of them will be the maid of honor.
Oh, plural. Okay, there's going to be more than one. Okay, okay. Traditionally,
Okay.
it's supposed to be just one. Okay, just so
Yeah.
you know.
Well, we're different. Calends are different. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, we're
Calends are-
special.
Oh my
Okay.
God. Okay, here's another topic. Now, since we're talking about marriage and all that shit, do you think that standards have gotten kind of out of hand when it comes to what is important in a relationship and dating?
Yeah, social media has like completely fucked that up on what priorities are should be for a relationship and shouldn't be there for a relationship.
Okay. What do you think? Because I have a theory, and I agree but disagree. But,
Hold on,
but
before you say that though, and I want to back my thing up is because so many more people now date on looks versus like what that person can actually bring them. It's I feel like we're talking about dating. We're not talking about marriage, right? That's dating, not marriage.
I'm saying dating in a relationship, both. Because like when you're dating somebody and you get a relationship, all of a sudden what you want doesn't change. You know what I mean? Like you still want that thing. You just want them to actually execute on it now.
Think about all the TV shows that are on Netflix that are like the ones where it's like they don't see them and just go for their personalities because that's just what social media is now. It's all relationships are. It's just like, what does this person look like? What can they do for me? You know what I mean? That's how I personally feel that a lot of relationships go. But yeah.
Okay.
Very vain.
Yeah, I do think I think relationships in essence are vain.
Yeah.
But
Why are you laughing over there?
Wait, what do you mean by relationships are vain? Like, it sounds
essence.
like kind of like a umbrella over all relationships. Like, what do you mean?
I think the basis of what creates a relationship is vain. Okay, think about it.
Are you talking about like partner relationships,
Yeah.
or like all relationships?
I'm talking about partner. Well, friendships.
Friendships
No,
are different.
Not really. Friendships
You
are
make
different.
me laugh. You could be my friend.
Parenthood. Yeah, I don't know. Romantic relationships. I think a lot of romantic relationships in the beginning, you're not really looking at like, okay, how could I help this person? Like, how could I be? Unless you're like smitten over this person, you're like, oh, this is the dream girl, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be her. I'm gonna do this for her. But most times people are not thinking about that. Like most times they're like, okay, I want this person because this person can provide this for me, right?
I just think that's how dating is now. In this day and age.
But I think that's how it's always been. And I think that's okay though.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think a woman is ever getting with a man in the 50s because she's like, I'm going to be the greatest housewife. No, and even at
what
that,
are you talking about? There's women back then that would like strive for that life. That's what they wanted. They wanted to get married.
Still women now.
No, they were.
Who want
that's not what they were thinking. This guy is the perfect guy that could take care of me and my children, so I can be.
I can't. I don't think
So
that
wouldn't
goes
that be
across
different
the
than
board.
looks? Than
Like
going
universally.
on someone based on looks?
Vain is not always just about looks. Vain is about what is about thinking about yourself. That's what vain is. So I could think about what I want from somebody.
I would say it's selfish. Like, what can I get out of this versus what can I give in this?
Okay.
Yeah. So if I'm going to get into a relationship, at the beginning, I am thinking about myself. I'm not going to commit to somebody and think like, oh.
Well, you should. At the beginning of a relationship, you honestly should be thinking about yourself because you don't know this person. This is a brand new person coming into your life. You shouldn't just give all your hopes and dreams to this brand new person. Advice, I used to do that shit when I was very young. I would talk to a guy and get like super attached, and I've had some crazy moments. But I learned from all that stuff now. You don't give yourself away when you first start talking to someone. You honestly should never, ever give yourself away when in a relationship. You should always kind of like keep yourself separate. Do you know what I mean? Like personality-wise, like goals, aspirations, stuff like that.
And I agree
Not
with
just
that
giving
100%.
it up for your partner.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I agree with that 100%. But going back to the original question, I do want to know what you think.
Wait, what was the original?
I know. What was it?
Have standards gotten way out of hand when it comes to dating in this modern area? Dating and relationships. Like, what is important?
I don't know. I would say, like, I feel like I don't have enough single friends dating to be able to say. For myself, I think obviously looks are always going to play a part. Like if I can't find you attractive in some kind of way, like for some reason, you don't have to be like fucking drop dead handsome, but like something about you is attractive. From there, it's like personality is the next thing. It's like, can I stand actually talking to you for more than 5 minutes? Because if that's not working out, then I don't really care about anything else you got going on. Like, you can be rolling in dough, you could be out here flexing with your stuff. I really just am not interested if you annoy me.
Yeah. Okay. Now here's my thoughts, and I kind of agree with you, Megan, except I don't blame social media for it. Because this is what I think. I think that standards haven't changed, like the basis of it, and they should change, right? Because even going back to what you just said, right? If a guy annoys you, blah blah blah, doesn't matter how much money he makes. However, let's flip that scenario. Let's say this guy is a great candidate when it comes to his personality, but he's broke. Is he still a candidate? Probably not, right?
I think, well, I mean, everybody kind of has their ups and downs in finances over time,
Sure.
I believe.
Sure, but this guy is broke, and he's guitar man. He has no
He's
dreams.
guitar
He
boy.
has no dreams.
That's not okay. Hold on. He had dreams. If we're gonna be real, he's like Tim.
Oh, yeah, no, Tim ain't got no aspirations.
Not like he was.
So
just
he's a dreamer, but
just broke all of his life. That's just what it is.
So this guy is a great personality, but he's broke spiritually.
Okay, I'll be straight. I dated a homeless guy one time. Like, I didn't know when I first met him. Like, I was oblivious.
Is this in Humboldt?
Yeah. I didn't know. I was, like, ignorant for, like, 2 weeks of, like, dating him. And then it, like, everything started to add up, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Like, he moved in super quick.
No.
That type of shit. Like, hey, can I spend the night again?
Like, weird
can I spend the night again?
holes in the story. Okay. And, like, crashing on friends' couches way too much. And then at that point, I was like, okay, like, he needs to get on his feet. Like, I can understand this. I can support him.
You
Not, like, support him.
You tried to save him.
Oh, shut up, Prentice.
Save how?
You tried to say that.
But what killed it for me wasn't his situation, but that he'd talk about doing things that he'd never follow through on. And for me, like, even if a guy is broke, but if he has intentions and he's following through on what he says he's going to do, like, okay, cool, you can follow through. You have followed through. This can get you somewhere. But if you're talking about stuff and you show me no follow through, I know your situation isn't going to change.
Yes.
And I'm going to be babysitting your ass, and I'm not trying to be someone's mom.
Now, women, since the beginning of time, have always cared about those things. They have. I mean, that's
But, like, as a
security.
guy, like, does it matter to you? Like,
If I was financially equipped to take care of the both of us, I give no fucks what she did. That's
if she was talking about doing all this stuff, going to school, la-da-da, like, starting her own business, but, like, you never saw her taking steps, like...
If I was financially equipped to take care of the both of us, and she was talking about, oh, one day I want to become
let her daydream all day?
I want to open up an Etsy store and create crafts, and she never moved on it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, it is what it is.
I think situations like that would be, I think it just depends on how that person acts, as well as, like, far as other things in their relationship. Like, if they are broke, how else are you contributing to the relationship? Are you take? Or are you giving as well?
Absolutely. So, but what I'm getting at is men and women want different things in a relationship. And I think those things that men and women want are the things that men and women had wanted before. They just, the circumstances are different, and it makes it harder for both people to get what they're looking for. For example, right? Women don't want a guy who's broke. Not just financially, I'm talking about broke spiritually, broke, with his motivation, all that stuff, right? But women in this day and age are out there getting it. I mean, let's be honest. They're going to college. They're getting good jobs. They're advancing in the corporate world, right? So would you date a guy who's not on your level, who's not taking those same steps? Probably not, right? So it's just hard. I think it's just harder for people to...
It just depends, I think, on the situation.
I think the standards have just gotten higher as advancement has gotten higher. And a lot of men are
Having
not.
the girl with the fattest ass is not a high. It's not a high standard.
Oh, come on. Okay, listen.
How did it go there?
I'm going to keep it 100%. And this is a message directly out there to all you ladies out there. If you're getting over 1,000 likes on your photos with your ass showing, there is not a guy in those likes that will put a ring on it. Not one.
How do we go from that?
You brought it up, sis. You brought up the ass.
I'm talking about what, like, so
And this,
there's a difference between a booty call, like, because girls will booty call a broke man all day long. If he's if he's broke spiritually, but he got,
man.
he puts it down to bed, you're going to bring him through, but she will never take him seriously in a relationship. Guys will not take the girl with the BBL that's posting it for the world on the internet seriously. They just won't.
I think it depends guy by guy. I think there's going to be some dude out there smitten for her still who, like, wants to save her and be there for her, who's going to do it.
Yeah, there's a guy out there who wants to.
I don't feel like posting
to,
promiscuous pictures makes you a whore on social media.
I never said that.
That's the vibe I'm getting. There's nothing wrong with women that do post those pictures and get those 1,000 likes. It doesn't make them any less of a person.
I said what is desirable.
I know that, but you're saying no one would put a ring on it. Why would no one put a ring on it? Because they're showing their ass off on social media.
Because it's not desirable.
It's not the quintessential good girl that a man's supposed to marry and be with.
It's not the girl who I want to build a life with. It's the girl who I want to smash, but it's not the girl who I want to build a life with. Like, there's different emotions that are involved there, right? If a girl posts
stigma. I think it's a stigma.
No, it's biology. If a girl posts a sexy photo, I'm getting a boner. I'm not getting motivated. I'm getting a boner. Like what's happening is different thought processes. I'm thinking about hitting. And that's my interest in that person. I'm not thinking, man, this person looks like they could raise kids really well. And they could help take care of things that I can't take care of. Because that's what most men are looking for in a partner.
So are you saying that women that do that can't do stuff like that?
No, I'm saying when men see women like that, that's not what they're thinking about. When they're thinking about approaching that person, they're not thinking about approaching that person on the basis of dating. They're thinking about approaching that person on the basis of fulfilling their sexual desires.
Well, then wouldn't that put them in the bad place? Like, what's wrong?
I never said there was anything wrong with either party. All I said was what people are looking for, right? So if a woman goes to college and has a college degree and she's advanced in the corporate world, she's not going to date, most of the time, she's not going to take a guy seriously who makes significantly less, right? So let's take numbers, right? So let's say she's a manager at some company and she's on salary and her salary is $65K, which is a pretty good, single income. The average income for men in America, period, is 42. Right? So is she going to take a guy who makes $20,000 less a year? Most of the time, not all the time. It's not perfect science, but most of the time she won't. Is there anything wrong with the guy who makes $42,000 a year? Absolutely nothing. If a girl posts pictures of her ass on Instagram, is there anything wrong with that girl? Absolutely not. But it's all about who's looking. And most of the time, guys who are interested in settling down, that's not what they're looking for. Girls who are looking to settle down are not looking.
They're advertising to the wrong group of people if they're looking for something specific. It's kind of what you're saying.
Correct. Both parties are. I mean, if as a man, if you're looking for a woman of high value, never mind. If you're looking to be accessible to women that you're interested in, most of the time, as a man, you have to have your shit together. You have to be kind of breaking in some dough. You got to have a good job. You got to have stable income. If you're looking to have multiple options. Now, if you're just going to, get with what what's within your what was that scale, then sure. But if you're looking to have more options, you got to be attractive to more different type of people.
So there's as a woman there, okay, I'm going to wrap this up. as a woman, it's easier for me to make less money than a man and get a man who has higher income versus like if it's a male who's making less, his options are limited, kind of topped out with where he's at and below.
Correct.
Because females above him are going to look for someone equal or greater than themselves in the relationship.
Correct. They're going to be attracted to their bosses, not to the people who they hire.
Don't sleep your way up, guys. It's totally not worth it.
I'm not saying sleep your way up. I'm just saying like they're attracted to those people of those levels. I'm just saying. So there's nothing wrong with posting ass on Instagram. Just nothing wrong with that. So I'm not saying that. Okay.
All right. What's our next one? Okay, so we digressed way too far. How about the family drama one? Because I want to talk about that.
Okay.
That was one that stood out to me because...
Because you've been dealing with some shit?
I'm not in a relationship.
You dealt with some shit before.
Yeah. Let's see. So in the past, I had a boyfriend who would...
Wait. What was the question?
Oh, we're going to segue into...
Yeah.
Family drama. Interject.
Okay. Yeah. And so he would talk about my family to me, like talk poorly about my family and my family members to me, on like shit I wouldn't solicit on, right? Or like if there was something going on in the family, like he always had to tell me his opinion about it. So I'm curious, what are your guys' thoughts about your partner interfering or talking about like your family and your family's drama?
If it harms my partner, like if a family member's harm my partner, I'm going to speak on it. That's just what it is.
Okay.
Like if my partner has a sibling that's treating her like shit, I'm going to talk about it.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell her like, hey, don't let nobody treat you like that. And if it happens in front of me, then I'm going to interject into the family drama. And be a part of the drama. That's just where I'm at. As my partner's partner, my job is to protect her and her interests. You know, like that's just where it is for me.
Okay.
You know, what are your thoughts on that?
What's the question again?
Interjecting on family drama. So you're thinking like Prentice is thinking like in the moment, like something's going down in the house and he's gonna like insert himself. I'm thinking more like your partner has like way too many opinions about what's going on in your family.
Shut the fuck up. And if he didn't shut the fuck up, then we would have a problem. Like, it's different when you vent about your family versus someone else venting about your family because it's like that's your blood. You deal with them every fucking day, every single day. Like, you deal with them more than they would, so for them to have these opinions, you can just tell them to go shove it. Yeah. I don't think I could deal with that in a relationship if they were constantly bagging on my family. Now, if my family's being annoying and he comments on that, like he's frustrated, then I would respect that. But if it's something that's consistent, then that's a problem.
Now, let me ask you this. If you're talking about your family in a negative light...
That's different.
Are they... Okay, that's what I'm getting to. So, like, are they not allowed to join into that? Like, do they have to just kind of like, okay.
They can join in, but sparingly. Like, let's say Jody was talking, he was venting about his mom. I wouldn't go in on him. I wouldn't go in on his mom. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't. I'd be like, oh, yeah, that sucks. I agree.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be like, yeah, dude, she does this and that, and that just fucking annoys the fuck out of me. Like, it's too far. I think as you get, like, when you're married, though, I feel like it's different because now you are family.
Absolutely.
So I feel like as far as like being married, I feel like it still goes like there's still lines you can cross that'll make it fucked up.
Yeah. Family drama.
But I feel like the lines are a little more blurred when you're married.
I think there is no line at that point. You know what I mean? Because you are.
No, there is a certain amount of line. You would let Jasmine talk shit about your mom if your mom was bugging her? You would let that happen? That wouldn't frustrate you?
Would I let her talk shit about my mom?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't really let her talk shit about anybody who I cared about, right?
There's a line.
I don't think that would happen. Well, okay, for my partner at least. Mm-hmm. Because I wouldn't marry somebody who was of poor value and who was a poor character where they just talk shit about people.
Yeah, but
like, what I'm saying is like somebody who I would marry wouldn't be just unsolicitedly just, hey, fuck your mom. Like,
people change in relationships and as you go. So let's say that it was something that wasn't present at first. and is now present in your relationship. How are you going to deal with that?
Yeah, at that point, then you're a different person. Like that conversation is going beyond, hey, stop talking shit about my mom. That's going to, hey, you're different than who you were when I first married you and when we first got together. What the fuck's going on? What do we need to do about this now? Like honestly, that's now getting to other territory.
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
Well, let's change the situation up then a little bit. It's kind of like how you were saying earlier. So let's say you're with your significant other at their family's house, and they get into a fight with their family member. Is it okay for you to jump in to defend them, or what do you do?
I would, and I have. And
you've told me stories. Yeah.
I have. Because if I felt like my partner was being harmed, then I'm going to jump in. But I'm not going to do it in a way where other people are now getting hurt too. You know what I mean? Like it's more or less like, let me remove this, my partner from the situation. It's like, if a car is coming, I'm not going to just stand there and take the hit for her.
Stare at the car blankly while it comes to hit you.
I'm gonna move both of us out the fucking street. You know what I mean? Nobody's getting hurt. The car goes free, and that's kind of how I look at like any type of drama, especially family drama, even if it's with my family, right? Like, because we even had situations where there was a misunderstanding between my wife and a family member, right? But there wasn't any extra casualties and there wasn't any extra damage. It was just one of those things where let me remove my wife from the situation by protecting her, interjecting real quick, and then moving right back out. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't go in on my family member and start talking shit about them. Like, fuck you, why are you talking to my wife like that? Like, no. I think that's...
Oh, I've seen it. Not you, but I've seen that happen before. So I think shit doesn't like that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I think that's shitty. Like, I think like if that's the case, then they don't not only respect your family, but like how are they going to treat your kids? You know what I mean? Like what happens?
It's a big character thing when things like that happen.
Yeah, like what happens when things get serious? Like, and then you guys start popping kids off. Are you going to treat the kids like that? You know what I mean? Like, are they going to treat the grandchildren like that? So, I had another question in regards to this though, and I'm trying to think about what it was, but I think we can kind of move on from this. Let's get into some of the lighter topics. Okay. Now, there's been a trend, and I, in essence, I understand it. Okay. I do understand it. If I've been working at this job for 3 years and, things started to change, not really liking the job anymore. You don't just quit, without another replacement job, right? Typically you start looking for what's available out there. You go on Indeed and seeing what, who's hiring right now.
Indeed will get you a job so quick.
Yeah.
You'll be hired in the next hour.
And then you start putting in some resumes and, once you get something that looks promising, you quit your job and move on with a new one. Okay. People have been doing that in relationships as of late, right? We call it pre-single test runs, where people are...
I've never heard that before today.
I've never heard of it, the term, but I know what it is.
Yeah, exactly, same.
People are in their relationships. They're starting to, see the writing on the wall. Things are not, like they used to be. And they start, instead of Indeed, they on Tinder now. They reactivate their Tinder profile. And they're, seeing what's out there, seeing what resumes they can submit. in essence, is there anything wrong with that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. That's not cool.
Well, you need money, which is why you look for another job while you're working before you quit. So you don't... I don't need dick 24/7. So, like, I can break up with this person and then go find someone else later on. Like... It's necessity over want, basically, when you're doing something like that. I want to be in a relationship. I don't want to be single. So I'm going to look while I'm with somebody to make sure I'm not alone versus I need this money, so I need to find another job before I quit. It's two completely different things.
What if you were looking for, I don't know, let's say research purposes, right? You're trying to see
research because
like
can I fuck you for my research?
No. I'm not saying I'm not saying like you go around and sleeping with people. You're like, like if I don't like this job, before I quit. I'm trying to see what else I'm qualified for. You know what I mean? Like
That's cheating in a way.
If I'm working at Burger King and they paying $17 an hour, and I'm looking at all the other fast food restaurants that only paying $15, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm good where I'm at. Right? So what if people are doing the same thing? They're like, I'm with this person. I don't know if I'm happy. I don't know.
Then
if,
you go on
things,
a break.
And then you start looking out there. You start seeing, okay, oh no.
No, you go on a break.
It's fuckboy central out there right now. It's I'm gonna stay put.
I know I hear myself talking. You go on a break if you don't know if you want to be with that person, and if you don't want to 100% break up with them and kind of just test the waters. I feel like a break is a good time to do something like that. But don't do it while you're in the relationship. What the fuck? No, that's still cheating no matter how
breaks.
You word
That's
it.
That's basically the same thing.
No,
it's like a soft breakup.
It is like a soft breakup, but it's not official.
It's like a 2-week notice.
It's not like a 2-week notice.
You saw what I did?
That was good.
It's like a 2-week notice. And look, we're going to take this little break here. I'm going to go talk to some people. Possibly, there might be some shit go down. And if I decide I like the other job, I'm going to go.
What does the bartender think about this?
I think we better copyright that. It's brilliant. 2-week notice. Lovely.
They might as well just change the break to that.
Call it a 2-week notice. I'm putting my 2 weeks.
Call it the pre-single test run.
I know, but a break is so much easier.
It
just rolls off the tongue so much better.
But I feel like if we called it a pre-single test run, like if we just changed the name, it sets a clear expectation of like what's happening here. Like, oh hey, I think we need to go on a pre-single test run. Like now he knows, okay, this may not happen. Like I've had girls.
Because do people when they go on break say, hey, I'm gonna go fuck some other guys and then come back to you to see if I really want you?
But we all know that happens, and that's like we're like.
But like, do you really say it?
No. But like if someone said, hey, I'm gonna go on a pre-single test run, the expectation is okay, they're probably gonna fuck some other people, and if they decide to stay, that means this was better. You know what I mean? But if they're like, hey, I want to go on a break, I don't know if that's like is this better or they just, didn't like what they had or whatever. Or they got whatever was in their system out their system. I don't know. I've always hated breaks because
just break up with them, go do your thing, get back together if you want to be with them.
I think both scenarios people are going to get hurt. That's like the shitty thing about relationships in general. Is like,
well, when they end, someone always gets hurt.
Correct.
Yeah.
So there's no avoiding that.
Correct.
There's no avoiding feelings in a relationship, so you just got to be prepared. I do feel like breaks are fair, though. I do.
Spit your piece. Why do you think breaks are fair?
I feel like when you break up with somebody, like you completely cut them out versus being on a break, you're kind of just like, dude, is this really what I want? When you break up with someone, like when I broke up with Guitar Boy, okay? Mm-hmm. I was done. I had no desire to talk to him or even like stay talking to him like after I officially was like done. But like if I were on a break with him, I would like it's kind of just like figuring things out without having
still
the
be
official
booty
title.
calling him, texting him.
No.
Like during a break?
Him?
Not him, but like in general during a break. Like what is the expectation during the break if it's different than a breakup? Because you're saying breakups are like cold turkey, like bye-bye. But like what is a break then?
Kind of just like figuring out if this relationship is really going to work or not. I feel like that's what breaks are. That's what they are. But a breakup is like officially ending it. Yeah, there are booty calls, but I didn't have booty calls with some of my exes. I did with some of them. I didn't with some. Whatever. Like it just depends on the person and why you guys broke up. But I feel like breaks are okay. I mean, I'd rather be on a break and have the person I was talking to go fuck around with someone and figure out if they want to be with me or not versus me actually being with them and them doing it while we're together. It's a principle. It's like a principle thing for me.
I've been in 3 relationships where there was a break involved. Mm-hmm. One where the break ended and we got back together, but then ended up breaking up a week after for the same reason that we got in the break in the first place. And then the other 2 also we never got back together. I think that like if you're already having doubts, like if there's already like a substantial reason why you're debating about breaking up, like and you need that break, I think that's why like I don't believe in breaks because you might as well just kind of just cut it off right then and there. Because like even if like let's say
I'm not trying to break up with someone twice. Honestly, that's how I feel a break is.
I'm
is
not
like
trying
I
to
have
deal
to
with somebody's
pre-break
shit.
up with you and then break up with you again by making
You
it more
don't do
official.
breaks. Breaks are not in your vocabulary.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm done with this situation. But like, you're pretty. I feel like the reason why you're like that is because like you're very like for sure on what you want, and you're very just like kind of once you have your mindset on something, that's how it's gonna either be or it goes. I'm not like that. So like for instance, if I went on a break with somebody to see if the relationship was gonna work, I might sleep with somebody to see if it's like if I miss that person or not. But I would have to choose. Like I feel like you would definitely be like, I'm done with this motherfucker. Get the fuck out. Give me my bed back.
Okay, let me ask you this, Megan. Are breaks more so for you? Like, are they more so for like to figure out your emotions,
Yeah.
or to logically look at the situation for what it is?
I feel like that's the same thing.
No, emotions and logic are two different things. Like if I were to go, hey, we're in this relationship, and I have some feelings about this person possibly may be cheating. I don't know if I could trust this person. I'm looking at the relationship from the aspect of, okay, what happens when we get back together? Are we still going to have trust issues? Probably. So it's probably best that we just end it now versus I'm heartbroken because I think this person cheated on me, and let me see if I can get over my heartbreak. And if I can get over the heartbreak, then we'll end the break and get back together. Like those are two different, I guess, two different ways of looking. I'm just curious on what way, but you said feelings.
What was your question again?
If, like, for breaks, is it more so to try to figure out your feelings, or is it to look at the situation unemotionally?
Oh, well, I'm an emotional person, so it'd have to be the first answer. It would be to figure out whether these feelings are valid that I'm feeling, whether I want to be with this person or not, and stuff like that. I'm not saying, like, a break is always going to lead to getting laid or whatever. It does happen a lot when people do go on breaks. They kind of just go out and test the waters and come back to see. But I feel like that's fair because it's like, you're going to be stuck with this fucking person the rest of your life. You know, it's just like, I don't know. I think they're fair.
Yeah.
I think they're valid. And I think it's okay to take them.
Yeah, I think because the reason why I asked that question, because you did make a really good point. I think that if it is like more of an emotional thing, I think it is in your, I guess, best interest to try to figure out your emotions, because emotions can be all over the place. You know, emotions could not make sense. And you may be, I don't know, feeling like you may be feeling about a way about something, and your feelings could be incorrect. And during that time, you're able to look at things from a different perspective and try to figure out your emotions. So from that point of view, I could see why people would want to go on breaks. But like you said about Ray, and I'm kind of even the same way. Like I look at all things like a chessboard. You know, like if it makes sense, can I checkmate this shit or not? You know, if I can't, then hey, this is not working out.
But I feel like also with breaks, with me saying that, I'm not saying talking to someone while you're in a relationship and then breaking up and then being with them to see if that relationship is better. That's not what I talk about when I'm when being on a break. Just seeing if like being with or without that person is better for you. Mm-hmm. And depending on how good you look, depends on how, and I know this is going to sound vain, I guess, but like depending on who you are, you don't need to talk to anyone before you go on a break to get laid. You know what I mean? Like you may just have skill to where you can do that when you're done. But I'm talking about like what I don't like is when people talk to other people while they're still in a relationship and then break up and then date that person. Did you get what I just said? Like you and me are dating, we go on a break, and I'm not talking to anyone before we go on the break, but I end up finding someone after, and we talk to see if the relationship is good or not. If not, I would go back to you. Like, that situation I feel like is different versus
I've been flirting with somebody.
Let me see which is the better two.
Yeah, that's cheating.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
That is complete.
Yeah,
that
cheating.
is complete cheating. So that's why I want to clarify as far as breaks go. Like, to test out the relationship. I'm not talking about talking to someone during that and then doing that. I'm talking about, like, generally seeing if that person is good or not for you and stuff like that.
I feel it. For sure. That's cheating. I mean, like I said, like most... Oh, well, I think we said it before on the podcast. Like cheating usually starts emotionally anyways. So like once you start
Yeah.
flirting with somebody, even if you haven't physically acted on it or even met that person, like that's still cheating in my book at least.
I feel like people that serial cheat. Does I say that right? They like cheat all the time. Wouldn't they be a serial cheater?
Yeah,
Right?
technically, yeah.
Sure.
Okay. I feel. Oh God, I just lost my train of thought with this. Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind.
Here's a news flash. You should break up with your high school boyfriend or girlfriend. What do you think? Here's my thoughts.
I feel.
Okay.
I feel like if you don't, I think it depends on the situation. High school sweetheart, someone you lose your virginity to, break up with that person because you're gonna have a midlife crisis when
I
you
thought
get
you were
older.
going to say something different.
No, I'm serious. Break up with that person. Break up with that person because you're gonna have a midlife crisis of wondering what it could be like to be with someone else. Now it will lead to cheating.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel. You can't be with one person your whole life. You cannot. It's very rare that it happens when people have high school sweethearts. I actually know 2 or 3 couples from my high school that are high school sweethearts that are together still and married now.
Yeah.
But it's very rare. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
for instance, me and Jody, we went to high school together. If we would have dated when we were younger, I don't think we would be together now.
Mm-hmm.
Just for that.
No, I agree with that.
Just for that reason, like, you know, and also too, it's like you're not even the same person you were in high school versus when you are an adult.
Yeah.
It's just different.
I fully agree with that. You know, one thing I always tell Jasmine is like, thank God I never knew it was going to be you. I always tell her that. Like, no, it's because like who I was.
Thanks, babe.
Like, it's because like
Right?
no, it's because of who I was at that time would have been absolute shit. And it took dating a lot of people to figure out like what's really important, like what to look for in a woman. You know what I mean? Because like when you're like, you know, young, dumb, full of cum, a lot of times, you know, you are looking for ass. You know what I mean? Like, and you think that's like the standard. You think that's what you're, you know, and then you're missing all the other aspects that are important in a relationship. And then you kind of learn like, oh shit, this is what's best. And I think like most people who, you know, have like that dream, like, oh, like, you know, I'm going to marry my high school sweetheart and we're going to be together forever, yada, 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 yada.
You get bored after a certain time.
I mean, it's not really about boredom. It's like, are you really your best self at that point? You know what I mean? Like how
so
much,
far away from it.
yeah, like how many sacrifices did you have to make to stay with that person?
Exactly. That's
You know what
another
I mean?
thing too. That's
Like-
another thing too.
Yeah.
Like, here's a good example. My situation, right? So I dated a girl from my junior year to my freshman year of college, right? I should have broke up with her ass a long time ago because her ass was a cheating ass bitch. But besides that, you know, my senior year of high school, I had a lot of accepted offers for college. A lot. I mean, there was a lot of colleges I could have really chose from. However, I decided to stay local because I was in a relationship. And every now and again, I just think about that situation. I just think about that decision and I'm like, man, I think my life would be completely different if I had just broke up with her ass and moved somewhere else. I think I would have went to a better college. I think I'd have took on less debt too, because the college that I went to, I had to take out larger loans for. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I just think like a lot of people, like after high school, I mean, you're basically a clean slate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Why not try to put some color to it? You know what I mean?
I feel like people that also stay in high school relationships, they don't end up actually finding themselves because they think of themselves as.
They're like attached to that
Attached.
old version.
There's a couple that they were high school sweethearts and they were married. They're married now. But I also feel like with situations like that, and this is going to like their relationship, she treated him like shit. She treated him like absolute shit. And I think he dealt with it because they were together for so long. And I possibly think he mentally thought he wouldn't be able to get someone else. And I'll tell you later. You'll know exactly who I'm talking about. But
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm listening.
but I just also feel like people that date their high school sweethearts that kind of get stuck. They also feel like, am I able to get anyone else? Am I good enough for anyone else? I feel like
They feel like they've been out of the game too long.
yeah. I mean, but I understand dating in this day and age is scary as shit, and it's no fun. Like, I'm so happy I have Jody. I am happy I don't have to date and deal with that shit because I hated doing that shit. It was no fun. It's no fun dating now. It's not.
I wouldn't know.
But you have. I mean, you would agree with me, right? You have friends and stuff that you see go through that shit.
I think it would be a lot harder for sure.
Yeah, it's just totally different.
I think you just got to be I just think you would, especially for men. I think it's a lot harder for men. But that's
For what?
I think
For men? Is that what you said? Oh, that's okay.
I do. I think it's a lot harder for men. I do.
For what?
For dating.
Well, we've had this conversation. We're not doing this. We're not going back.
All right. Well, I think we hit an hour.
Yeah.
We probably hit an hour a long time ago. You know, we're gonna go ahead and skip the hot takes this episode, but you know, once again, if you guys are watching, make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys like. Make sure you comment. Watch the other shit. Watch Snack Wars. Watch Black Men Cook 2. Shit Talk's gonna take a little break, but you know, hey, we might be back. We'll see.
We got some other content for you guys, so we just want people to participate. Let us know how you feel. Give us your real raw opinions. You know what I mean, like that. Like I just want to know.
And I promise you, we are going to get back to being more. What's the word? We're gonna start talking to y'all more. You know what I mean? So yeah, interactive. So look out for the posts on Instagram. Look out for the posts on Facebook. Check out TikTok because you know we're gonna start posting some stuff there, and you can share your opinions, and we will talk back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I have a mouth on me, you already know. So I'm not gonna.
Yeah, you fucking do.
I'm not gonna bite my tongue on shit. So I'm Cousin P. That's May May. That's Ray. The bartender was also here.
I know he was very quiet.
He was here.
He was very busy tonight.
Yeah,
Doing some back stock in the back there.
What can you do? You know, there's a lot of customers to serve now that COVID's off.
There we go. And this was the happy hour.
I feel like that was good.
Yeah.